So to start, if you can make sure you're sitting comfortably and turn your attention inwards. Sort of relax internally. Let go of whatever activities. No need to do anything. Just simply enjoy being. Sort of dive into being. Savor the silence, the stillness within, the wisdom within, the light within. So to do that, you invite your mind to rest, in the presence that you are. You turn your attention to sensations within your body and simply notice without engaging in any way. So for now, you can let go of the past, let go of the world. Let go of all your plans. And simply be. We are so habituated to pursue things, to engage in thinking about ourselves, our life, events in the world. They're completely irrelevant. Once you turn your attention to the causeless peace within, you find your true home. Without doing any effort. It reveals itself to be this borderless presence, that has no name, no age, no gender. So we are open for this recognition. Recognizing ourselves as the one self, one reality. Not as a separate being, but as the piece of being, the freedom, the causeless peace. When the mind is quiet and turned inwardly towards the reality of consciousness, towards its source, we discover that there is nothing lacking. We discover the wholeness that we are, indivisible awareness. The absence of judgment. The fulfillment of being, the fullness of the heart. Overflowing love. And we find no need to separate anything. No need to introduce a personal narrative. No need to introduce a separate being, a separate self, a separate me. Which is a fabrication. A construct. But you are not a construct. You are not some imagined or felt character. You're not flesh and bones, neurons firing, molecules, atoms dancing. You're not that. These are interesting concepts. You're not a son of immortal couple or daughter of immortal mother and father. When you look within, without slapping on your definitions onto your experience, it's just awareness, presence, God's being, the mystery of being. Manifesting as this moment, the breath, the sound of traffic, the sensation of your back against a chair, your feet against the ground. And you know yourself to be the reality of awareness. Which is not contained in any container. The source and the perceiver, the creator. That's where love and beauty reside. In this understanding. The understanding about your reality. The reality of your experience. Which is not different from your reality. There is no separation anywhere in the world, in the universe. It's a mistaken impression. When the mind is divided in a separate me, an external world, your innate freedom, your innate happiness is contracted, veiled by the worry and concern about yourself, your imaginary self. And everything you perceive from that point on appears separate to you. Fragmented, disjointed. Disconnected. You experience isolation and loneliness. An inner despair. And the beauty of God's creation is veiled to you. Veiled by judgments. Veiled by erroneous conditions. But as soon as you turn your attention to the inner silence, which doesn't belong to any person, which is there, so clear, so loud, you will find within them that inner silence the love and the beauty and the freedom that your heart rejoices. Nothing lacking. You realize that your purpose and your goals, which seemed worldly previously, are answered, are fulfilled within your inner being, which is the heart of consciousness. This transparent presence that is borderless, the true father and mother, the true creator, the true child and the true parent. The peace resides within you, within your being, not within your personal mind. The mind can come to the stillness upon your turning your attention towards the truth, which is not a worldly truth, but a universal truth. So, in your contemplation of I, do not proceed any further. Do not add I, this man, this woman, this person, this son, this daughter. Simply I. Nothing else. No addition. Everything I. Only I. That which you cannot get around. The reality of all appearances. Okay, so if you have any questions, anything that you would like to explore, make sure you unmute your mic. So, any questions?
Hello, Magdi.
Yes, hello.
It's Lona. We talked many years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, and my camera doesn't work. Can I come forward anyway?
Okay, yes, please, sure.
Yeah, so sorry about that.
Okay.
Magdi, I think it was in 2013, maybe 14, where I wrote you because everything fell away and I thought I knew I wasn't going crazy, but I didn't know how to explain what was happening. And we had a long chat on Facebook, which helped stabilizing it. But then wild oscillations, of course, showed up. You warned me about that. And that was actually quite fine. But then after long periods of opening and some very strong identification sometimes, then all of a sudden a limbo state. I cannot explain it. It seems like it seems like there's not the identification with the person or the me or whatever you body mind, but there's also not this opening. So there's not the sensing, the experiencing of my true nature as has been many times. So it's like in the middle of everything, and it's really a numbness. I cannot explain it. It's been going on for more than a year now. And I don't know. There's no me to do anything, but I've had this urge to ask you.
Yes. So, so I don't assume, maybe I can ask you, do you have an experience of the peace or the experience of tranquility? Do you have the experience of peace and tranquility?
Yes, but it's not the peace as in the opening. You know, yeah. What do I mean by opening? By opening, I mean
Sorry. Yeah. What do you mean by peace in the opening? Because peace is just peace. Peace is.
Then there's just peace, and it's not. There's peace in the limbo state, but it's not the same peace. Does that make sense?
Not really, because either there is peace, or there is some sort of some concern. Even the thought, well, this piece is not the right piece or the correct piece, or like the other piece, that's not peace. That's let's say it's some sort of concern. So the experience of your true self is peace across the board. It's causeless peace. It's just peace that has no comparison. You're not comparing it to an openness or non-openness, or it's important that you understand that all the teaching about openness and separation and borderlessness, they're just metaphors. There is just a pedagogical language. So, but peace is, there aren't types of peace. There isn't a peace of openness and the peace of between you and your partner, or there isn't an inner peace or outer peace. It's just peace. So peace is one. So if you are experiencing some sort of a slightly opaque, steady state that is not the experience of peace, then there is something that is veiling, that is some sort of, okay. And the veil can only be some conceptual, some belief, something that you're still holding on to, that stirs the mind and affects your experience, veils your inner inherent peace that's causeless, is right there. So in comparing, when we are comparing our experience to something else, we are not in presence.
No.
We are engaged in some sort of thought about the me. The me is always, if it's within thought, it's the false self. Because the I is not within thought. It's not within your concept, within your thinking. Whatever it is that is you within your thinking is false. So when you are thinking about yourself, it's a false thought. It's quite different from thinking about your body. For example, your body is tired. You need to say goodnight and go to sleep. That's different. But whenever a thought is arising to you that's referring to you, it's a false thought. So when the thought says, well, my happiness now or my peace now is not the same peace of the peace of openness, the I, the peace to whom you're referring to in thought is the wrong person. It's an illusory person. So as long as you are referring to yourself in a separate sense, in a separate way, like you're a person, you're a mother, a daughter, whatever, or a spiritual seeker that's advancing, that's progressing, whenever you're thinking of yourself, you are not resting as the self. You are not being the self. You are engaged in thinking about yourself as somebody.
Yeah.
And that, so that thought you may not notice that thought. It may be quite low volume, very low volume thought. I'm feeling the peace, but it's maybe even almost silent. And it's not the same peace as the peace of openness. It may be very quiet, but even if it's very dim, it is the party pooper. It is spoiling the party. So there is only one peace, and that's a piece of our true nature. There isn't a better peace, a higher peace, more peace, less peace. No. And any disturbance to the peace is connected to the belief that I am somebody.
Yeah. but it must be very subconscious, this belief.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So it's good because you may be getting to the finer residuals of the me. So you need to be very watchful of what's interfering with peace right now. Something must be interfering with peace right now. What is it? You look within yourself. You will find something. You will find. Just continue to look in that direction. What? Not when can I finally get the peace of openness? No. No, not that. What I'm talking about is in this moment, what is it? You have to look within your experience, not think about it. You look in your experience. What is it that is interfering with the peace right now? So let's look at it right now. Let's look right now. Right now, what's interfering with peace?
The only thing that shows up is a sense of stuckness in this limbo state. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a sense of stuckness. So you.
Yeah, it's almost like being a bit numb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is it possible for you to be numb or stuck right now?
No, it isn't.
Hold on.
No, sorry.
I'm inviting you
Yeah.
to experiment with being numb right now, and drop all resistance to being numb.
Yeah, but that's too late now.
Why?
It's because the minute you said it, the opening came again. So of course I cannot be numb.
So,
Yeah.
all right. What I'm sort of encouraging you to do is, okay, when there is an experience that arises to you,
Yeah.
explore a complete, I mean, complete meaning 100%. It's an exploration. Okay, it's not like success or failure. No, it's a process. Investigate, experiment with complete acceptance, a complete
Allowing.
Yes. Words are incomplete, but just no, not a judgment. Like, imagine that God just knocked on your door, and you opened the door and he presented you. He said, okay, I have something for you. This is what I have for you. This numbness. And it's a gift from God. So you cannot judge it. I mean, you cannot say, oh my God, what a mistake God made. I mean, it's just playing. You follow what I'm saying? Yes?
Yeah.
So
I do.
Yes. So because if there is an ounce of resistance, that ounce of resistance is the veil.
I didn't hear that.
Is the veil. Is
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Veil. Yeah.
The troublemaker.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
the issue. Is that.
Yeah.
It's not the numbness. It is the resistance to the numbness. The judgment.
Yes.
You may have to look really closely to notice the judgment or the resistance, because it's disguised, the mind disguises it. Oh no, there is something wrong. You see, and it's not a judgment, it's a fact. The mind presents it's absolute. It's a fact that the numbness is the bad thing. But
Yes.
that's the trick of the mind. It's actually a judgment.
Yeah.
So we have to explore that direction.
The resistance part makes sense. It resonates because it started during a deep meditation, and there's been a long period of absolutely openness, and then in this meditation it was like a sort of blankness, and after that this numbness. Yeah, limbo state.
Yeah.
So it must be resistance. I wouldn't know what, but I can explore it.
Right. Also, a couple of other things. A state, a numbness state or a blank state, is something that appears to you.
Yeah, I know.
So that which appears to you, or any state that appears to you, does not define you.
No.
So who cares?
But I can say that right now because the openness is back. But when there's limbo, with really numbness and limbo,
yes, I understand, but I'm
then it's just a theoretical argument.
Yes, but I'm giving you some hints about that may be helpful. Not necessarily now, as you say, but they may be helpful for you at some point, where the numbness is an appearance, and it doesn't define you. You are not defined by any appearance. So therefore, you don't need to fix anything. You're not defined by anything that appears to you. You don't need to fix any appearance. Of course, I'm not talking about the body being hungry. Then no, I'm talking in that psychological sense. So just invite that understanding. I understand that now it may not seem to be very significant for you because...
Yeah, it is. I'm listening because
yes.
Who knows? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes the way the sense of separation is maintained is that when there is the peace and the stillness in meditation or whatever, then the mind will say, aha, these are the goodies. These are the goodies. And it creates a caricature within the feeling state. It creates a certain representation, a fictitious representation within the mind and within the feeling state. It says, that's the peace. That's it. And in fact, it's creating an object.
Yeah.
And when it creates an object, it maintains a subject.
Yeah.
So then we are trying to experience again, to duplicate this object, this experience, you know.
Mm.
So the peace of being leaves no traces. True meditation leaves no trace. It affects the mind, brings the mind to stillness, but it doesn't leave a trace, like it doesn't leave, you know, it's not like Santa Claus bringing a box of toys.
Yeah.
It's more, it sort of dissolves the veils, you know.
Mm.
So when the mind presents a goal, a meditation goal, or a peace, some sort of peace goal, be wary, because the mind only operates in objects, in forms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then just rest, let it go. Say, no, I will not follow any object. I don't know. Remain not knowing. Because not knowing is all knowing.
Mm.
But knowing is a limited knowing. So remain not knowing. So that in this not knowing, everything is known, but it's not focused on any particular form. So our true nature is more not knowing, leaning backward rather than leaning forward, as a way of speaking, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Now I need to talk with you.
Thank you very much, Maki. Thank you.
So any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Kesley. Hello.
So when you speak of the mind creating objects, what comes to mind for me is when I speak with other people, or when I'm in relation to the outside world, specifically talking to someone, it seems like a very subjective state. And I think the veil gets really strong when I'm with other people. I feel this sense of peace when I'm alone more than when I'm with others.
Yes, I
and
understand.
so, yeah, I'm curious about that.
Yes. You know, in relationship with people, they are very concerned about their image, and they're relating with you because they want your love. They want to feel that connection where you are not judging them, where you are in a deeper level, loving them, recognizing them for what they truly are, not for their thoughts or their appearance or their status or anything like that, but for their true being, you see. So your true being and their true being is the same being, you know. And so when you are in a relationship with somebody, this is what they are behind the scene, in a way, looking for. They looking to connect with you at the love level. Love level is not a personal love; is our sameness, our what we are. So bear in mind when you are in a relationship with others, not so much about just your psychological thing, but about the love that is reaching to connect with you at a deeper level, you see. Also, often when people are relating with you, they are very worried about their image. And we hide it, you see. We appear, we want to appear in a certain way. And we've been doing it for so long that we don't know anymore who we are, what we are. We are so in our images and our patterns and our way of dancing that that seems the most important. But in fact, that's just a facade. That's just a facade. It's sort of may seem to be difficult to see through it. But when you look within yourself, you find that, yes, your image is important, but what is more important for you is the love. You don't care so much about your image. I mean, yes, society, culture, I don't mean that the image doesn't matter. Yes, we take care of the image, but what we really care for is, do you want to be loved besides your image, you see? Same thing for the other person. The same thing. All of them, believe me, I've met with people in business at very high levels of companies, and I knew because I knew that they are me. They are the same child as me, who is just looking for the love. Of course, I didn't share that with them because as a way of speaking, you don't want to. But when you are open within yourself to that understanding, it changes. It affects how you are. You see, it affects how you are. Of course, we are not an image. We are not an image. We are not. We are the self. We are consciousness. I am I. Yes, there is a body, there is an image, you look in the mirror, but that which perceives, that which is hearing right now is I hear, I perceive. The hearing is neither female or male, you see. It's the body, maybe male, female, whatever. But the hearing is consciousness. Perceiving, that which perceives. It's not like, oh, it's a female perception or male perception. No, we don't have that experience. We have the experience of perceiving beyond gender, beyond age. It's not like, oh, it's a 50-year-old person perceiving, oh, it's a 30-year-old person. No, it's not like that. It's pure consciousness. So that's truly what we are. That's your being. Your being is only one being. It's not like a false being and a real being. It's just being. And the body has a name, has an age, has a form, and blah, blah. But being is being. Being is being. So we meet at the being level, and this is where the love is. And then when there is this being level, then it expresses itself. Like this conversation, being right now in this moment is expressing itself as this conversation. And in this conversation, it's very sweet, loving, gentle, non-judgmental, friendly, etc. It's that our true nature expresses itself effortlessly in a loving way. But when it channels itself through the image, you see, when somehow our true nature, we don't have some sort of an understanding of that or a connection of that, then we are in the hypnotic state of the image. And our perception is affected by our hypnotic state. We are perceiving only the perception, the image. And so it's a reflection, it's an internal process It's completely an internal mental and feeling process within ourselves. And because it is within ourselves, the remedy is within ourselves. It's never out there. It's not like, oh, hey, fix your attitude, go straighten your attitude and come back. No, it's always within ourselves, because our experience of the other is within ourselves. And our projections and our defenses and our dances, all of that is occurring within ourselves, you see. And the peace can only be revealed within ourselves. So the peace within ourselves is when there aren't opposing forces that are fighting each other. And the forces that are opposing each other are within myself, and if there is a doer, I am the doer. and if there is one who can say, okay, enough with this monkey business, I am the one who can say enough with this monkey business, because it's all within myself. So I say to myself, okay, fine, I know there is judgment here, but I'm not going to continue to live with judging you and then judging you and judging you and then worrying about, do they judge me? How do they love me? How do they not love me? So within myself, I decide a different path, you see. So and each one of us has their own capacity in their own way, in their own, process, which can change over time. So you can find a process within yourself where the peace that you experience when you're alone, because we exist, in community, in tribes, in social circles. Also, to find the peace in relationship. And when you find the peace in relationship and the peace within yourself, it's very beautiful, because it's all the same peace, It's like, so not to judge yourself, others, and to see through the true self that I am and that the other is the same self. And also, like, at the body mind level, we all have all sorts of traumas and BS that's happened in our life, and everybody, no one is spared. So we have also a compassion, for ourselves and for others, and the forgiveness, and it's not a big deal. We are so resilient, We don't need to carry the past. We don't need to. What for? I mean,
Thank you very much.
yes. Nice talking with you. Yes. Any questions?
Magdi?
Hola, Gloriana, ¿cómo está?
Fine.
Hello.
Fine, thank you.
Yes, nice to see you. Yes.
Magdi, well, I wanted to thank you for all your words. very lovely, and I can, I feel I understand something. I don't know,
Yes, yes.
and feel that peace
Beautiful.
without judgment, anything, only
Yes,
accepting.
yes. Oh, very nice. Yes, yes.
And an idea came to my mind that is like life is uh, like God playing not to be God.
Like,
I don't know.
like what? Like?
God playing
Yes.
not to be God,
Oh,
but at the moment you see that glimpse.
yes, yes, yes. You know, like in your dream, sometimes in your night dream, you may dream that there is a lion that is running after you, you know, and it feels like very, very scary. And you're running, and then you wake up. When you wake up, you realize there is no lion, and the me that was in the dream running away. I was not in the forest. I'm here in bed. So you realize that is not real. This game that God is playing isn't it's not a real game. It is a dream game. The me, the separate me, the character that is appearing in your dreams, that is this person, is not what you are. You are the dreamer. You are the dreamer, you see. You are at peace. You are the peace. Supposedly, something very, very scary is happening to this girl in the dream. But the girl doesn't exist, and the lion doesn't exist. So when we say God is playing some kind of game, it's not real. It's important to understand that there is one reality. There's never been any other reality. You've never been a girl, a woman. Never. You've never been a daughter. You're not a daughter. You're not a mother. You're not a sister. You're not. You've never been one. You have always been consciousness. Never been anything else. Your experience in this moment is I consciousness, I awareness. You are that presence, that transparency. Never been anything else. Irrespective of the dreams, irrespective of the perceptions, you remain as this aware presence, transparent, borderless, that has no name, no age, no gender, but you cannot deny it. It's absolute reality of yourself. It's the reality of being, God's reality, the reality of the universal reality. Whatever words you want to use. It's not a separate personal thing, you see. So maybe that's the end of the illusion, the end of the confusion, you see, the confusion. Because in God's kingdom, there is no confusion. In the universe, there is no confusion. We say, oh, this volcano should not erupt. But that's just a thought. There's no issue, no problem with the volcano erupting. Birth and death of the bodies. There's no issue with birth and death of the bodies. The main the core of our life is to see through this illusion, to be clear, to come to clarity about what we are, to come to clarity about the reality of consciousness and the universality of consciousness. That's what's available to us. And in the dream of being somebody, there are many situations that will arise to us that will challenge our belief of being Gloriana, of being Magdi, of being somebody. These challenges are invitations, they're gifts, they are gifts given to us by the universe, by God, by consciousness, to help us to realize what truth is, the truth, and what the illusion is. So in waking up, we realize I was never this little girl running away from so in your life, live inviting, be open to this understanding to come into your life, with not a personal effort, but you're open for the magic. You're open for God's touch, because already God has touched you. So you're open to that. You recognize God's touch. And so you say, yeah, I'm open to God's touch. And if the lion is going to eat me, bon appetit. Enjoy your food. Because maybe part of our waking up is for the lion to eat us. Because nothing ever happens to consciousness, to what I truly am.
Thank you, Maggie.
Lovely to see you. You look like you're in a nice sunny place here. Beautiful.
Well, thank you, Maggie. It's raining.
Oh, it is raining. Okay.
But there is a lot of light.
Yes. Wonderful. Well, enjoy it.
Thank you.
Good rain for, yes. Okay, Gloriana.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So any questions?
Hello.
Hello, Ibrahim.
Hi, Maggie. Can you hear me?
Yes, I do hear you. I don't
Yeah,
see.
how are you?
I hear you. Alhamdulillah, I'm good.
Hi. Yeah, I don't have a webcam for today,
Okay.
so I'll get one for next time.
Okay.
And it's 1 a.m. where I am, so I have to keep my voice down.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, so I've been following Rupert's teachings and Francis's teachings for around 2 years now.
Uh-huh.
And recently I've been watching a lot of Francis's YouTube videos. I've watched many, many hours of that.
Yes.
And I've even seen you in some of the videos too.
Yes.
And yeah, it's been really great. And I've seen your website too. You have many beautiful writings. So yeah, thank you for all that you're doing and for doing this too.
Yes.
So I just have a question about procrastination. Throughout my whole life in school and then during university, I've always been obsessed with marks and grades and doing well and perfectionism.
Yeah.
So even during university, a lot of fear about grades and the future and what's going to happen. And then that was when I was very strongly identified as a separate self. And then I discovered Eckhart Tolle, and then I went through a couple more teachers, and I finally found Rupert. And so, because of this conditioning, let's say, I have a very strong association between work and fear. So, for example, I recently graduated, so I'm in the process of applying to jobs. And I find that whenever I want to prepare for a job interview, for example, as soon as I want to start preparing, there's such a huge resistance that arises, and it causes me to procrastinate for a long time. And so if I stay very close to my experience, I notice the thought comes, I should prepare for this interview. And then a feeling of fear starts to arise. So the first impulse is to distract from the feeling by going to eat something or watching a YouTube video or playing video games. And so I just procrastinate. I end up not doing the thing. And I keep distracting from the feeling until it becomes that I can't avoid it anymore. And what happens is I go do, for example, I meditate for a bit, or I do one of Rupert's yoga meditations. And all it takes is 5, 10, 15 minutes of returning to myself and recognizing my true nature and slowly dropping the resistance. And it becomes so clear that what I am truly cannot be hurt by any feeling, by any fear. And resting as that, I can truly say that I can stay with that fear forever. And as soon as that happens, the feeling is transformed into peace and love. So that experiential feeling is very clear. But so that let's say that happens at night and everything is fine. The very next day, guess what? It's time to prepare for the interview. And as soon as that feeling of fear arises, even though I had the clear seeing that I cannot be hurt by it, there's still such a strong impulse to procrastinate and avoid until I have enough courage to face the feeling. So yeah, can you help me with that?
Yes. Yes. You know, Ibrahim, the mind is so conditioned, from a young age. Because of the ignorance of our parents, our teachers, society, we are taught that it is all about the world, that life is about the world, about the job, about survival, about food, shelter, and clothing, about family. And so we live following the mind. And the mind, because we don't have a connection to the heart, it's a desert. It's a battleground. The body is a desert and a battleground. And so it's inevitable that you feel the worry, the concern, the unhappiness, and you find ways around it to procrastinate, to avoid. It's unavoidable, because our life, it has a major error in it. It gives reality to illusion, and it imagines reality to be illusion. In other words, it gives reality to the world, to the body, to the mind, and to consciousness. We say, oh, that's just a nice concept, that's something abstract. It's inside the body, inside the brain. It's a result of brain activity. It's a result of the Big Bang. So we have a major flaw in our life, how we are living. And it's unavoidable that as long as we are living under that false model, that we will experience unhappiness, concern, worry, fears, avoidance. Now you say, can you help me with that? The only help is to come to the understanding of what is true and what is not true, what is truth, what is reality, and to live according to this understanding. And this understanding is not hidden from you. It is within you. It is that which you are. You truly are. There is only one reality, one truth. And it's not named Ibrahim. It's not a son or a daughter. Yes, Ibrahim is the name of the body that your mom and dad, they gave the name to this. Ibrahim. But your reality is not Ibrahim. It's not your mind that creates reality. The reality doesn't appear, and yet it is undeniable, the undeniable reality of awareness, of consciousness. So sometimes we speak of the mind and of the heart. The heart is the true knowingness. So how do we live to follow the heart rather than follow the mind? To follow the heart, we have to follow love, freedom, joy, truth, beauty, intelligence, wisdom. Not, I am Ibrahim, I am the son, I am the student, I am this, I am that. Everything that appears, everything that's happening in the world is not the creation of the mind. There is only one creator, one reality, and that's consciousness, God, Brahman, whatever words you want to use. It is the creator that creates. It's not your mind that creates. Your mind can be illuminated by the creator if and when there is room within your mind for the creator's message. But if your mind is full of the messages of society, the message of your parents about what you should be and how you should be and where you should go and what you should do for your family, what you should do for your culture, what you should do for your future partner, etc., then there is not much room within your mind for God. So God then is not illuminating your mind. We need to follow the mind when the mind is guided. But when the mind is not guided, it makes no sense to follow the mind. Now, you say that you follow Rupert's meditations and you listen to Francis. It's very good. But if you are using Rupert's meditations and listening to Francis in order to have a personal result, it's different from listening to Rupert or Francis in order to awaken to God's truth, to reality. So I don't know much about your path, but in contemplating the truth, you contemplate truth for the truth itself, not for any personal purpose, not in order for your life to become stress-free, free from fear. As long as there is an erroneous models, an erroneous understanding within your mind, you will experience worry, concern, fear, and procrastination, hopefully less and less and less and less throughout your investigation, throughout your contemplation. But you cannot expect to go from a mind that is so conditioned with ignorance, to go from that mind to the absolute peace of being. It's a journey. And it's a journey that is about love for truth. Because love for truth is very different from love for your person or for your personal improvement or for your personal happiness. Love of truth is universal. It comes from love, it comes from truth, and it is only directed towards truth. And it reveals to you, it takes some time, it reveals to you the inner peace of being, the causeless peace of being. Now, there are no accidents, Ibrahim. Where you are, your life, where the body is born, the conditions of your life, there are no accidents. For every one of us, there are no accidents. It's perfect. God's is perfect creation. Boom, exactly as the doctor prescribes it. It's your situation. So we don't need to go into, oh, my situation is this and that, because every person can go into, oh, my situation is this, my situation is this, my situation is this. We're all given a certain situation. And There are no mistakes, no errors. You may be born in a family where the family power over you is so powerful. You have very little freedom or lots of judgment, or you may have been born in a family where there are a lot of brothers and sisters, or you may be the sole son or daughter, the sole, there are no accidents. It's just how it is correctly meant for you. Meaning you have all what it takes to navigate your way towards the peace of being. Now, this life, yes, there is food, shelter, and clothing, working, making money, paying the rent, etc. But that's not the main thing. These are the sideshow. The main show is freedom, love of truth, love, happiness, joy, beauty. And so if you find yourself going in a direction where the happiness and the joy and the beauty is getting in your life more and more narrow, more and more pressure, more and more, then you need to reconsider. You need to look beyond that direction. Now, having said that, in terms of the waking up in the morning or during the day, and there is an unhappiness that comes, a worry, a concern, a fear, an emotion. It's not a problem when you open yourself completely to it, meaning when you're saying yes to your experience without the conditions. It's really important not to make conditions. I know it's difficult because we are so habituated to have conditions. But the process is the process of seeing how your conditions are part of the unhappiness, and to sort of explore flowing, being the flow, being more transparent, experiencing the sensations, successes and failures, okay? Successes and failures. Noticing this driven mechanism within ourselves, because we feel it in the body. When we are driven, we feel it in the body. Notice it and release it. And release it means don't try to get rid of it. Release it means give it the space. Go to notice it. First of all, notice it. And notice it and give it the space, all the space around it, to sort of to reveal more and more of itself. There are some tendencies within the body that are fixed positions. They're fixed positions that have been anchored from years ago in our upbringing. And these fixed positions, they arise in your life in different circumstances. So it's important that you go to these fixed positions, go to them, explore them, cajole them, invite them to reveal more, to reveal more of themselves. Because they will reveal that there is more than just the fixed position, that there is an ample space within those positions and are beyond those positions, those feelings, those tendencies. Don't stay outside of your feelings. Don't stand apart from your feelings. We stand apart from our feelings when we have some judgment about them, very subtle judgment. Oh my God, why am I feeling this way? I shouldn't be feeling this way. Yesterday, when I was listening to Rupert's meditation, I was feeling great, but this thing has returned. What thing has returned? something. So you have a position about something, you have an image, an idea about something. Because if you go to it, meaning you don't say, oh, this thing has returned. This negative thing has returned. Instead, you remain open, not knowing, available. So there is an exploration in that direction. There is an exploration of the feeling where you go to the feeling with your openness and you invite this feeling to be imbued with your silent and unconditional availability. And you don't move. You're there available for it fully. A full yesness. And in life, don't just trust your mind. Trust the cosmos. Trust the universe. Not just to express the weather, not just to express the correct gravitational field, but to also express your personal life, to guide. So there is a universal guidance that comes into your personal mind when you're available to it. So be available. And then availability, when we're available, we don't have conditions. I'm available. I have a bell at the door and I'm available. The bell rings, I open the door. Hello. I don't know who is coming. Say hello. Maybe something that you enjoy, you can explore, or something that you can explore but you may not enjoy. Then you say no. Not such a rigid path. Don't live a rigid path in life. Be like a little child. Play, explore. You fall on your knee. You know, when you kids, we fall on our knee, we scrape our knees, we scrape our elbows. We ride the bicycle, we fall off the bicycle. So be like that. Be more.
Okay. Thank you, Magdi. That was beautiful advice. Okay. And yeah, now that you mentioned it, I do realize that, for example, as soon as a sensation arises, I'm very quick to put a label, oh, this is fear.
Yeah. And
oh, why am I like this? Instead of exploring it neutrally.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll consider your advice, and thank you very much.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, nice to talk with you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay. All right. Everybody, very lovely to be with you all. John and Ibrahim and Vijay. No, it's not Vijay, but Amna, hello Amna. George, hi George. Holger, Kestley, Isaac. Hello Maria. And Marga. Holly, Holly. Gloriana, hola Gloriana. Esther. Hey Gabby. Zoe, hello Zoe.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you all. Yes, lovely to be with you. Very lovely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone, for your lovely questions, and thank you, Magdi.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you, Majdi.